What if I told you, you don't need to ask a woman how she feels about you, because when a woman is truly attracted, she doesn't hide it, she leaks it. Not through words, but through her behavior, her energy, and the way she responds to you. Most men miss these signs and then wonder why they get ignored, ghosted, or replaced. So in this video, you're going to learn 5 powerful signs that reveal when a woman is deeply drawn to you before she even says it. Emotional openness is often misunderstood in attraction. Most people assume attraction is built on appearance, confidence, or status, but those are only entry points. What truly deepens attraction is when someone feels safe enough to reveal who they really are beneath the surface. Emotional openness is not about oversharing or talking endlessly about feelings. It's about allowing another person to see your unfiltered thoughts, your perspectives, and even your vulnerabilities without the fear of being judged or dismissed. When this happens, it creates a shift in the dynamic, one that moves from casual interaction into something more meaningful and psychologically engaging. When a woman begins to feel emotionally open around a man, it signals that she is lowering her guard. This is significant because emotional safety is not given freely. It is earned through consistency, presence, and a sense of calm assurance. A man who listens without interrupting, who responds without overreacting, and who remains grounded instead of trying too hard, creates an environment where emotional openness can naturally develop. This doesn't require perfection or rehearsed lines. It requires authenticity and the ability to stay composed. Emotional openness grows in spaces where there is no pressure to perform, no need to impress, and no fear of being misunderstood. There is also a subtle psychological mechanism behind this. People are naturally drawn to those who make them feel understood. When a woman feels that she can express her thoughts without having to filter them, she begins to associate that emotional relief with the person she is talking to. This association strengthens attraction because it creates a sense of connection that goes beyond surface-level interest. It's no longer about how someone looks or what they have. It becomes about how they make her feel internally. Emotional openness turns interaction into experience, and experience is what the mind remembers and craves. Another layer to emotional openness is the element of trust. Trust is not built through grand gestures, but through small, consistent moments where someone proves they are reliable and emotionally steady. When a woman shares something personal and it is received with respect rather than judgment, it reinforces her willingness to open up further. Each moment of acceptance deepens the connection, creating a cycle where openness leads to trust and trust leads to even more openness. This gradual process is what transforms initial attraction into something more stable and lasting. It is important to understand that emotional openness is not something that can be forced. Trying to rush it often leads to resistance because it disrupts the natural pace of connection. Attraction thrives in an environment where things unfold organically. When a man becomes too eager for emotional depth too quickly, it can feel overwhelming rather than inviting. On the other hand, when he allows space, remains patient, and responds with genuine interest rather than desperation, emotional openness begins to emerge on its own. This balance between presence and patience is what makes the interaction feel effortless rather than pressured. Emotional openness also reveals the difference between temporary attention and genuine interest. Someone who is only casually interested will keep conversations light and avoid depth, while someone who feels a deeper pull will naturally move toward more meaningful topics. This shift is not always obvious in words, but it becomes clear in the tone, the consistency, and the willingness to engage beyond the surface. When emotional openness is present, Conversations stop feeling like exchanges and start feeling like connections, where both people are not just talking but experiencing each other's perspectives in a way that creates a lasting impression. Women are often perceived as being driven purely by excitement when it comes to attraction, but that's only a fraction of the reality. Excitement may spark initial interest, but it does not sustain emotional investment. What truly determines whether a woman continues to engage, invest, and build something deeper is the sense of safety she feels in a man's presence. Safety here is not about being boring or predictable. It's about emotional stability, consistency, and the absence of unnecessary chaos. A man who creates emotional safety does not trigger anxiety or confusion. He creates clarity, and that clarity allows attraction to grow without resistance. Excitement is often misunderstood as intensity, unpredictable behavior, mixed signals, or emotional highs and lows. While these can create temporary attraction, they also generate uncertainty. Uncertainty may keep someone curious, but it rarely makes them invest deeply. Over time, too much unpredictability becomes exhausting rather than appealing. This is where safety begins to outweigh excitement. When a woman feels that she can rely on someone's words and actions aligning, it removes the mental strain of trying to figure out where she stands. That mental relief is powerful because it allows her to shift from guarding herself to opening up naturally. Emotional safety is built through consistency. It's not about grand gestures or dramatic displays. It's about showing up the same way over time. When a man responds calmly instead of reacting impulsively, when he communicates clearly instead of creating confusion, and when his behavior matches his intentions, it creates a stable emotional environment. In that environment, a woman doesn't feel the need to second-guess everything. She doesn't have to decode mixed signals or question hidden meanings. This stability allows her to relax, and when she relaxes, she becomes more willing to invest her time, attention, and emotions. There is also a deeper psychological layer to this dynamic. People are naturally drawn to environments where they feel secure because security reduces emotional risk. When a woman senses that a man is grounded and emotionally controlled, she begins to associate him with that sense of calm. This doesn't diminish attraction, it strengthens it. Excitement without safety feels unstable, but excitement combined with safety feels compelling and sustainable. It creates a balance where she can feel both stimulated and secure at the same time, which is far more powerful than either element alone. Another important aspect of safety is emotional respect. This means allowing space for her thoughts, opinions, and feelings without dismissing or minimizing them. When a woman feels heard and understood, it reinforces the idea that she is valued beyond surface-level attraction. This kind of respect builds trust, and trust is what turns interest into investment. Without trust, even the strongest attraction can fade because there is no foundation to support it. With trust, even subtle attraction can grow into something much deeper because it is supported by a sense of emotional reliability. It's also worth recognizing that safety does not mean the absence of challenge. A man can still be confident, assertive, and engaging while providing emotional safety. In fact, this combination is what makes him stand out. He doesn't rely on manipulation or emotional games to create attraction. He relies on presence, clarity, and self-control. This creates a dynamic where a woman feels drawn to him, not because she is confused or chasing validation, but because she genuinely enjoys being around him and feels secure in that connection. When a woman feels safe, her behavior naturally changes. She becomes more consistent, more responsive, and more willing to invest her energy. She no longer holds back or keeps her guard up because there is no perceived threat to her emotional well-being. This shift is subtle but powerful as it transforms the interaction from something uncertain into something stable and meaningful. Safety gives her the confidence to lean in rather than pull away, to engage rather than hesitate, and to invest rather than withdraw. Attention and curiosity are often overlooked, yet they are among the earliest and most reliable indicators of genuine interest. Before emotions deepen and before any clear expression of attraction is verbalized, these two elements quietly begin to shape the dynamic between two people. Attention is where it starts, the simple act of noticing, remembering, and focusing. But attention alone can sometimes be passive. What transforms it into something meaningful is curiosity. Curiosity adds intention, a desire to know more, to explore, and to understand beyond what is immediately visible. When a woman is genuinely interested, her attention becomes selective. She doesn't distribute it equally to everyone around her. Instead, it naturally gravitates toward the person she finds intriguing. This shows up in subtle ways. She listens more closely, picks up on small details, and responds in a way that shows she is mentally present. This kind of attention is not forced or calculated. It's instinctive. Her mind keeps returning to the interaction, replaying moments, analyzing words, and finding reasons to stay engaged. Attention in this sense is not just about being physically present in a conversation. It's about being mentally invested in it. Curiosity, on the other hand, is what pushes that attention further. It creates momentum. A curious woman doesn't just listen, she asks questions. She wants to know how you think, what you believe, what drives you, and what makes you different from everyone else. These questions are not random, they are intentional attempts to understand you on a deeper level. Curiosity transforms a simple interaction into an exploration where each response opens the door to another layer of conversation. This is where the dynamic shifts from casual to engaging, from surface level to something more meaningful. There is a psychological reason why attention combined with curiosity is such a strong signal of interest. The human mind invests energy in what it values. When someone is both attentive and curious, it means they are allocating mental and emotional resources toward understanding another person. This investment is not made lightly. It reflects a level of engagement that goes beyond politeness or casual interaction. It indicates that the person has become significant enough to occupy space in their thoughts, even outside of direct interaction. Another important aspect of this dynamic is consistency. Genuine attention and curiosity are not one-time occurrences, they repeat over time. A woman who is truly interested doesn't suddenly lose focus or stop asking questions without reason. Her engagement remains steady, even if it fluctuates slightly, depending on context. This consistency is what separates real interest from temporary intrigue. Temporary intrigue may create brief moments of attention, but it lacks the sustained curiosity needed to build a deeper connection. When both attention and curiosity persist, they create a pattern that is difficult to ignore. It's also worth noting that curiosity often reveals itself through effort to keep conversations going, to revisit topics, and to create new opportunities for interaction. This effort is rarely explicit. It's embedded in small actions, like bringing up something you mentioned earlier, or steering a conversation in a direction that allows her to learn more about you. These actions may seem minor on the surface, but they reflect a deeper level of engagement. They show that the interaction is not just happening in the moment, it's being carried forward and built upon. Attention and curiosity together create a feedback loop. The more attention she gives, the more curious she becomes, and the more curious she becomes, the more attention she invests. This loop strengthens the connection gradually, making each interaction more engaging than the last. It shifts the focus from external factors to internal experience, where the interaction itself becomes the source of interest. Over time, this dynamic lays the groundwork for deeper emotional involvement, as both attention and curiosity continue to reinforce each other in a way that feels natural and unforced. Body language operates on a level that words often cannot reach. While people carefully choose what they say, their bodies tend to respond automatically, revealing emotions and intentions that are not always consciously controlled. This is why body language becomes one of the most reliable indicators of genuine attraction or interest. A person can mask their thoughts verbally, but their posture, gestures, eye contact, and physical orientation often tell a more honest story. These nonverbal cues are not random. They are deeply connected to internal emotional states, making them difficult to fake consistently over time. When a woman is genuinely drawn to someone, her body begins to reflect that attraction in subtle yet noticeable ways. She may lean slightly closer during conversations, reducing the physical distance between you without even realizing it. This shift in proximity is not just about comfort. It signals a subconscious desire to be more engaged and connected. Eye contact becomes stronger and more sustained, often accompanied by brief glances away, followed by re-engagement. These patterns indicate both interest and a level of emotional stimulation that goes beyond casual interaction. The eyes, in particular, are one of the clearest channels through which genuine feelings are expressed. Another important aspect of body language is mirroring. When someone feels a connection, they often begin to unconsciously mimic the other person's gestures, tone, or pace of speech. This mirroring creates a sense of alignment, as if both individuals are moving in sync without deliberate effort. It is a natural response driven by the brain's tendency to build rapport and connection. If a woman starts adopting similar postures or gestures, it often indicates that she is comfortable and engaged on a deeper level. This synchronization is subtle, but it plays a powerful role in strengthening the sense of connection between two people. Physical gestures such as touching hair, adjusting clothing, or making small movements can also signal heightened awareness. These actions are not necessarily intentional attempts to attract attention. Rather, they are responses to an internal state of heightened emotion or self-awareness. When someone becomes more conscious of their appearance or movements in the presence of another person, it often reflects a desire to be perceived positively. This heightened awareness is a strong indicator that the interaction holds significance beyond casual interest. Posture is another key element that reveals underlying feelings. An open posture where the body is oriented toward the other person suggests receptiveness and engagement. Closed-off postures, on the other hand, often indicate discomfort or disinterest. When a woman angles her body toward you, even in a group setting, it shows that her attention is directed specifically at you. This directional focus is a powerful nonverbal cue, as it reflects where her interest is naturally drawn. Combined with other signals such as nodding during conversation or maintaining an attentive stance, it creates a clear picture of engagement. It is also important to recognize the consistency of these signals. Genuine body language patterns tend to repeat and align with the overall tone of the interaction. Isolated gestures can be misleading, but when multiple cues appear together, leaning in, sustained eye contact, mirroring, and open posture, they form a coherent pattern that is difficult to ignore. This consistency is what makes body language such a reliable indicator, as it reflects ongoing emotional states rather than momentary reactions. Body language does not operate in isolation. It interacts with the context of the situation and the dynamic between individuals. The same gesture can carry different meanings depending on timing, environment, and the existing level of comfort. This is why interpretation requires attention to the broader picture rather than focusing on a single signal. When understood correctly, body language provides insight into what someone feels but may not express verbally, offering a deeper understanding of the interaction as it unfolds. Consistency in behavior is one of the clearest distinctions between genuine attraction and temporary interest. Many people get caught up in intense moments, strong conversations, sudden attention, or emotional highs, and mistake those for something meaningful. But intensity without consistency is unstable. It creates confusion rather than clarity. Genuine attraction, on the other hand, reveals itself through patterns that repeat over time. It's not about how someone acts once, it's about how they continue to show up without needing to be reminded, chased, or questioned. When a woman is truly interested, her behavior aligns naturally with that interest. She doesn't disappear for long periods without explanation or suddenly shift her energy for no reason. Instead, there is a steady rhythm in how she communicates, responds, and engages. This doesn't mean constant availability or perfection, but it does mean predictability in intention. You can sense that her actions are coming from a place of genuine engagement rather than impulse. This predictability creates a sense of ease because you're not left guessing where you stand or trying to decode mixed signals. In contrast, inconsistency often reflects uncertainty or lack of real investment. When someone is playing games or is only partially interested, their behavior becomes erratic. They may show strong interest one moment and withdraw the next, creating a cycle of confusion that keeps the other person emotionally off balance. While this can sometimes be mistaken for excitement, it is rarely sustainable. Over time, inconsistency drains energy and creates doubt, making it difficult for any real connection to develop. Genuine attraction does not rely on confusion to maintain interest. It relies on clarity and steady engagement. Consistency also builds trust, and trust is a fundamental component of deeper attraction. When a woman consistently follows through on what she says, responds in a way that feels reliable, and maintains a similar level of engagement over time, it signals emotional stability. This stability is attractive because it reduces uncertainty and allows the connection to grow without unnecessary tension. Trust is not formed through grand gestures or dramatic moments. It is formed through repeated experiences where expectations are met and intentions are clear. Another important aspect of consistency is emotional alignment. When someone is genuinely attracted, their emotions and actions tend to match. If she expresses interest, her behavior will reflect that interest through effort, attention, and presence. There is no disconnect between what she says and what she does. This alignment creates a sense of authenticity, where the interaction feels real rather than performative. In contrast, when there is a gap between words and actions, it often indicates that the attraction is not as strong or genuine as it may seem on the surface. Consistency does not mean monotony or lack of excitement. It doesn't remove spontaneity or emotional expression. It simply provides a stable foundation for those elements to exist. A woman can still be playful, expressive, and engaging while maintaining consistent behavior. In fact, this combination is what makes the connection feel both exciting and secure at the same time. The presence of consistency allows moments of excitement to feel genuine rather than unpredictable or forced. Over time, consistent behavior becomes a signal of priority. People naturally invest time and energy into what matters to them. When a woman consistently makes an effort to stay connected, to engage in conversation, and to be present in your life, it reflects a level of importance that goes beyond casual interest. This investment is not always loud or dramatic. It is often quiet and steady, showing up in small actions that accumulate into something meaningful. The absence of games, the lack of unnecessary complications, and the presence of steady engagement all point toward a form of attraction that is grounded in sincerity rather than fleeting. A woman's energy is one of the most telling yet overlooked indicators of how she truly feels. Words can be chosen carefully, actions can sometimes be controlled, but energy, how she shows up emotionally and mentally, tends to shift naturally when she becomes genuinely engaged. This shift is not loud or dramatic. It's subtle yet powerful enough to change the entire dynamic of an interaction. When a woman is mentally and emotionally invested, her presence becomes more intentional. She is no longer just participating in the moment, she is experiencing it, and that difference is felt rather than simply observed. Mental engagement is the first layer of this shift. When a woman is truly interested, her attention sharpens. She becomes more focused on the conversation, more responsive to what is being said, and more inclined to explore topics beyond the surface. This doesn't mean she is constantly asking questions or trying to impress. Rather, her curiosity becomes natural. She listens with intent, processes what you say, and responds in a way that shows she is actively involved. This level of engagement reflects that her mind is not elsewhere. It is fully present in the interaction, which is a strong indicator that she values the connection. Emotional engagement deepens this shift even further. When a woman begins to feel emotionally connected, her energy softens. There is a noticeable change in how she expresses herself. Her tone becomes warmer, her reactions more genuine, and her overall demeanor more open. This softness is not weakness, it is comfort. It shows that she no longer feels the need to guard herself as closely. Emotional engagement allows her to relax into the interaction, creating a space where her natural personality can come forward without hesitation or restraint. This combination of mental and emotional engagement creates a distinct presence. A woman who is not engaged may still be polite, responsive, and even friendly, but her energy will feel neutral or distant. There is a lack of depth, a sense that she is present physically but not fully invested. In contrast, when she is engaged, her energy becomes more dynamic. She reacts more quickly, expresses herself more freely, and shows a level of enthusiasm that cannot be easily faked. This difference is often subtle, but it becomes clear when you pay attention to how she interacts over time. Another important aspect of this shift is consistency in her energy. When a woman is mentally and emotionally engaged, her presence does not fluctuate dramatically without reason. She maintains a certain level of warmth and attentiveness that reflects her ongoing interest. This consistency makes the interaction feel stable and genuine, rather than unpredictable or forced. It also indicates that her engagement is not situational or temporary. It is rooted in a deeper level of interest that persists beyond a single moment. There is also a natural increase in effort that comes with this type of engagement. A woman who is invested will find ways to stay connected, to continue conversations, and to create opportunities for interaction. This effort is not always obvious or deliberate. It often appears in small, consistent actions that reflect her desire to maintain the connection. Whether it is through the way she responds, the topics she brings up, or the time she chooses to spend, her energy reflects a willingness to invest that goes beyond casual interaction. This shift in energy is difficult to manufacture because it is tied to genuine internal states. It is not something that can be sustained through pretense or effort alone. When a woman is mentally and emotionally engaged, her energy aligns with her interest in a way that feels natural and unforced. This alignment creates a sense of authenticity in the interaction, where her presence feels real rather than performative. It is this authenticity that makes the shift in energy so noticeable, as it reflects a deeper level of connection that words alone cannot fully express. Attraction was never meant to be confusing. It only feels that way when you focus on words instead of patterns. Every sign you've seen points to one thing. Real interest is consistent, observable, and emotionally grounded. It shows up in how she opens up, how she pays attention, how her body responds, how she stays connected, and how her energy shifts around you. None of these happen by accident, and none of them need to be forced. They unfold naturally when there is genuine engagement.